Welcome back to another Sunday snippet where we'll be going over the Atta tori history. So I hope you enjoy this little storyline. So let's get into it. This book covers the history of the Atta tori Sud culture from about 13,000 BCE to about 650 CE. We will discuss the various works of the Atta tori Sud featured at its museum and the role they play in their history. There is still a lot we don't know about the Atta tori culture before their diaspora, as most of the original ruins were ransacked by pillager raids. This book will attempt to reconstruct as much history as possible through the remaining artifacts. Paleolithic to 9500 BCE. There is very little evidence to suggest early Atta tori peoples were hunters. The wild berries of the surrounding taiga provided plentiful food, and the Atta tori were largely peaceful. However, the greatest threat to early peoples were creepers, prone to destroying weak camps and potentially killing or injuring people. As such, much of the early Atta tori art focuses on the hunting of creepers for survival rather than food. Stone creepers, circa 11,000 BCE. One of the earliest known portrayals of creepers. The original stone would have been inlaid with lapis lazuli, a common ingredient for Atta tori dyes. It is unknown exactly what led to the development of agriculture, but it is likely the Atta tori experienced declining berry yields. By 9800 BCE, the Atta tori were harvesting cereals, and by 9500 BCE, agriculture was widespread. Neolithic to 4500 BCE. The Atta tori Trail ruin was once the centerpiece of the Atta tori civilization, encompassing the most valuable resources of the era into a haven, hostile-free environment. The advent of agriculture helped this growth. The advent of agriculture resulted in the specialization of labor. At the Atta tori Trail ruin, we noticed various stonecutters and pottery areas that led us to believe the people of the area spent a lot of time building and ornamenting the area. Decorated pots, circa 7400 BCE. The friend icons of the pots found at the Atta tori site, along with various gold and emerald fragments, indicate that trade and interactions with other cultures occurred. To what extent is unknown. The Atta tori culture would continue to flourish and would eventually expand to include the area of present-day Atta tor. The original site would become less and less important to the people of Atta tor as greater riches made the trail ruin obsolete. Classical, to 250 CE. The clerics of Atta tor were among the last people to use the trail ruin site in any capacity. Various prayer candles indicate the worship of a pantheon of animal gods that continues today. Eternalism. Eternalism focuses on the worship of two primary gods, the Phoenix Etern and the Dragon Dracovor, who reside in another world. The secondary gods, Zolderek the wolf, Foxalor the fox, and Draden the deer reside in the overworld. Phoenix statue, circa 850 BCE. The earliest portrayal of Etern, the Phoenix god of eternalism. Notice the greater detail over stone creepers, originally inlaid with diamond and emerald. The Atta tori would decline with the arrival of pillaging nomads that would end the settlement at the trail site. The resulting diaspora would create successor kingdoms at Atta tor and across the Great Phoenix Lake at Wolfox, Pollucky, Whitaker, Namir, and others. Medieval to 650 CE. The kingdom at Atta tor would grow under the rule of King Buddy, who also ruled as king in Wolfox and Whitaker. Buddy would focus his power at the royal castle in Wolfox. Pollucky had also built a major port at the time. The altar of the Phoenix in Wolfox was built to honor Etern. It was commissioned by King Buddy personally, and it is purported that in building a stronghold to reach another world, he was cursed by the gods to become an immortal cat. Wither, circa 562 CE, by J. Bergenston. The Wither could not be defeated, and its spirit still resonates somewhere in the overworld and nether, the only known work by J. The Piglin invasion of 262 CE devastated the remaining structures at Atta tor, leaving only a shell of the former kingdom. The invasion was repelled and the Piglin kingdom destroyed, and Wolfox would become the new primary Atta tori cultural site.